I cannot wait to share this hidden gem with you. Camp Riverview is a campground in Concan, Texas, located right on the banks of the Frio River. They have half a mile of river frontage just for their guests with super easy access. You can even do a miniature float right through the middle of camp without ever having to leave and drop off somewhere else. It's super convenient. They have cabins, tent camping, and RV spots so that everyone in the family can camp however they need to feel comfortable. They offer lots of family-friendly activities, glow-in-the-dark hayrides, water hayrides, craps, laser tag, and truly are a great campground for families. Check out www.friocampriverview.com or Frio Camp Riverview on social media.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the In Between Podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Leah.
And
Today, we have a very special guest with us, Hailey Gearo. She is one of our artists in residence. And when you reached out to us and applied for the residency, I was so excited. I love your work, and I can't wait to dig into that.
Well, thank you.
She's an Austin-based artist who works with vibrant colors, colorful abstractions with circles and polka dots and swirls. And it's messy and jarring and beautiful and addresses mental health. And I just really can't wait to hear from you all the things about your work. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming to talk to us. So first, I just want to know how you're enjoying the area so far. And
it's so pretty. It's really very much a separation of like regular traffic and Austin busyness, which is really nice. And we've been catching up on sleep, been doing a lot of sleeping, which is very necessary. And a lot of creating. I have been writing a lot, which usually helps like work out some ideas I might have, or maybe even find like reasons of why motifs are showing up in my work. So that's been really nice. So it's been productive, but also like very restful.
Good. Wow. I love to hear that. I always say we keep the residency very loose because every artist needs something different. So some just need to rest and some need to just come and work and focus and pump out stuff because they never get to work anymore. And so I just love to hear that you're getting what you need. And maybe that's some sleep and that's some rest. So
and thank you for taking time out to come out over here and do this. We know it's taking away from the residency, but so we do appreciate that.
Yeah, it's actually perfect timing for me. I just finished prepping for a solo show that I have in February on the 8th. And then I also, at the same time, because I love to double book myself, had a show with the Carver Museum as well in Austin. So I have both of those things that I just like finished making a crazy amount of work for in kind of a small amount of time. So it's like perfect timing for me where I get like, I finished dropping off everything last week and then now getting to be here and like resting and taking my time is really nice.
You've been busy.
Yes.
What's the solar deal?
Yeah, so it's with Dougherty Art Center in Austin. And so they have like I think it was like an old military building, if I remember correctly, that they have converted into like a theater and gallery space. And so it's kind of like a U shape where how the gallery is. So there's like the front gallery and then like two side galleries. And they do openings, I think once a year, and they set up for like the full year coming. And they have 3 artists showcasing at the same time. And so it is a solo for that. So it's like kind of a group show, but we all have independent themes just happening at the same time.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Wow. Yeah. And how long will that be on going on?
That's a great question. I know it's a couple months. I want to say like it's up for 3. I think both of them are up for about 3 months.
So by the time this comes out, it'll probably be down, but I'm sure you'll have a million other shows elsewhere.
Yeah, today is February. Sorry, I'm already in February. January 28th.
It's been a long January.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, let's jump into you and your work and how did you come to art and all the things.
Yeah, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so only a little bit a ways away from where I've been most of my life. But I went to school in Kirksville, Missouri, and I majored in art, fine arts with a concentration of painting. And then I have an art history minor as well, and had no clue what I was going to do. Like, I wanted to be an artist, but like at school, they don't teach you how to do that, like how to market yourself and how to build a website or like approach galleries or literally anything useful for like actually being an artist. It's always like a vehicle to be a teacher or go to be like a curator somewhere else or like even like a librarian. So I worked a bunch of regular jobs for a long time. It's been like a whole bunch of random things. So I was like a preschool teacher for a while. And then I went to drug testing for the state. And then I was an emergency vet medicine. And then I was a chiropractic assistant and financial manager.
Kind of all over the place. Yeah. Wow.
All over the place. But all of those things made me be like, oh, I don't like any of this stuff. Like, I do only want to be an artist. And it was like right around the pandemic where I was like, okay, everyone's getting fired. Nothing is stable. So like, might as well take the leap and figure it out as I go. And I knew it would be something I would regret if I didn't pursue. So in 2020, I started fumbling through figuring out how to be an artist and work for myself. And I did that while like doing DoorDash and other small jobs just to keep myself afloat. And then I think almost 4 years ago, definitely 3.5, I moved to Austin for just more opportunities because the Midwest doesn't have like, at least not as big as an art scene. So like there's not as many options to like facilitate growing a career. And I had a couple of friends who are also artists who had moved out here and had seen them like doing really well and getting really cool opportunities. And I was like, all right, well, might as well. So I moved here. And then from there, I kind of just like have been sprinting ever since. And I got really lucky when I first moved here. I met some like great artists. And this like one community led me to another. So there was a coffee shop I had found just like looking on Instagram, trying to find different places in Austin, like just to find something to do. And I had seen that they had done a post with a creative group called the Creative Cuties. And it was just like a group of different people who were creatives. Some of them were professional artists. Some just like happened to like art. Some were crafters and some just appreciated. And we would all come together usually twice a month. Usually about twice a month. And just bring whatever you were working on or like whatever you wanted to do and like just co-create together.
Wow.
And like through them, I've met another artist, Chris Tobar and Rich from Rich's Art Gallery. And then like through them, I met everybody else. And it's just kind of like branched out from like this very small community, which has been really nice because I've got lucky with finding like people who are kind and like willing and wanting to share information, which is hard to come by. So yeah. And like now I'm here kind of, so.
Wow. So when we were talking to Kayla earlier, another one of our artists in residence, she, after the conversation, brought up Rich's Art Gallery and she was like, oh yeah, you need to know about them. And she was trying to get him to come out. And anyway, she was talking about what a beautiful community they have around, their gallery. And we were talking about community in general and just how necessary and important that is to, support yourself as an artist, for finding opportunities, for having people show up to your shows, for giving you feedback. And it's crazy. Such a small world. So.
Yeah.
Is this your husband? Mm-hmm. Okay. He's here. You can't see him. He's behind other side of the camera. But at what point when did he come in the picture? Was that before Austin, after Austin, or?
After Austin.
Okay.
We actually, it's kind of been like a whirlwind romance. We met in February of last year and he's just kind of been along for the ride. He comes to everything we can. No, shows up. I put him to work. He helps me set up and tear down and just like supports or like make sure that I eat or drink during events sometimes too, which is really helpful. Yeah. And his family shows out too, which is really sweet.
Awesome.
So yeah.
And you said in 2020, it's kind of what was a catalyst point for you to getting started. For as bad as 2020 was for a lot of people, it was also good for a lot of people, a lot of innovation in business, a lot of people starting their careers and doing something different. And I think that's interesting that that's when you made a turning point for your career. And especially after everything you mentioned that you were doing, it's like, well, you're kind of all over the place, but you realize, you kind of circle back around. And it leads me to my other, the thing that stuck out that you were saying earlier was like how you wanted to be an artist, but you didn't know how. And I think that's a valid point to kind of maybe chew on a bit more, like how how does one be an artist? Like, where you have to figure out how to market yourself, like you said, how to figure out building community, going back to that, like you have to build a community, because within that community you can find it's a resource, having a community. Do you want to maybe touch on that a little bit more and see, like, what would you recommend for someone who's wanted to start wherever you started at,
who wasn't taught that in school and paid thousands of dollars for an education, but they weren't taught the business of it.
Yeah, none of the business. So if you happen to still be in school, highly recommend taking a class if you don't want to like minor in, but I think minoring might be the best idea, but take a couple classes in marketing and business. Because again, that's like a massive hole and like a necessary thing for us, because we don't often have like a whole bunch of people behind us to tell you what you're supposed to be doing or know how to do it themselves. So having like the basics can be like a leg up on a lot of people, because it is just kind of like a fail till you figure it out sort of thing. And then a whole lot of delusion, I feel like really helps. Just like a blind belief that like it will work out and it has to is like a big thing. Because that was really the catalyst for me of like, well, okay, like this thing isn't working. I don't like it anyway. So like, why not? And finding other artists who like their career seems to be going in a similar way that you would like yours to go. Like I followed a lot of people on Instagram who had careers that like, from what I could see, I was like, oh, I love that this person is seemingly self-sustainable and like uses their social media almost exclusively to like be able to sell and market, so they have control over their image and like what they actually want to do. And so I followed those people and then just started kind of cold messaging them and being like, hey, I also want to be an artist. I really admire what you're doing. Like, how? And some of them would be like, I also don't know, figuring it out as I go. But like, here's like a one little tidbit that worked for me. And that has been really helpful, because I have noticed there's a lot of like courses sort of things that people have, but like there's not really a lot of people who have information that's worth like paying for that are selling those courses in particular. I have found people who like are just doing this and like happy and willing to share are usually the ones who have the information that you want anyway. So forming community and just like putting yourself out there is like a must. So like I said, again, like social media and just like searching creative like meetups in your area, even sometimes like networking events can be helpful. Like the smaller ones that are like your niche specific can be helpful, or places like Rich's Gallery or other like I know Contra Commons, they have like creative classes too. So they'll have like figure drawing or like poetry classes some nights and that sort of thing. So like usually the person who's leading the class has a little bit more time in whatever it is that they're doing to be able to ask questions and maybe get something back. And if they don't know, a lot of the time they know somebody who might. And so it's very much, you have to build community and just ask questions. Like I have found that asking questions has been my saving grace, because I do tend to ask a lot of questions, and just like asking things that someone might also just like not answer or have an answer for you, because you never know. And like with working so many diverse jobs, like I have found things in other businesses that don't really work very well for them that I have been able to be like, oh, okay, like that's something to keep in mind later on, of like how to maneuver business to make sure that I'm professional, so that like if I ever cross paths with somebody, whether or not it was a good interaction, like they can't go forth and like tell someone something else that like I was rude or like not on time or like didn't pull my weight for something, like because everyone talks. And so with forming community, it means like you're going to be in community with people who you may not know that well or may not know you personally. So like they might not have as much time to like hold an opinion for real. So like whatever they see at face value could be a make or break opinion, and you don't know who they know. And it's just always better to lead with like a little caution and professionalism.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of great information for someone who's maybe in that kind of they're stuck and they don't know how to move forward, but they want to. I think it's more common than not.
Oh, for sure. I don't think most art programs aren't necessarily teaching you how to be a business person. You're focusing on the work, you're focusing on the theory behind the work, and you're not learning about social media. That's not important. That's not academic. That's not serious. But it's what you have to do these days. And if you're not an artist that's just going to like jump straight into like gallery representation and have someone else handle that for you, what do you do? And there's only a small handful of artists that get representation that way. And even then you still need to like be informed of the business side. So it really is trial and error, learning as you go. Like you said, finding the people that have done it and hoping that they'll be generous enough to share even a tidbit of information with you. So yeah, that was, I think, really helpful. So I briefly described your work earlier, but how do you describe it?
It depends on the day, but I would say generally, I would say I am an abstract expressionist that like dabbles in surrealism. Is probably as close as it's going to get, because I don't know that I necessarily fit the abstract expressionism mold anymore. And I also don't really fit surrealism specifically anymore. But I feel like abstract is probably like the loosest way to describe what it is that I'm kind of doing.
And I am sure you get this all the time. It's probably like, again. But for me, with the polka dots, I just, like, of course. And we haven't talked about this yet, but addressing mental health, like that was kind of, her process as well. And she is one of my favorites. Love her. So when I see polka dots anywhere, I'm just like, yeah. But your work is very different from hers. It's not literally just the polka dots and the mention of mental health, or like the two connections that I made. But how do you use these paintings and the colors, and what does that have to do with mental health?
Yeah, so she is one of my influences. So like I started doing the polka dot thing, and then I had heard her name, but like hadn't connected the work. And I knew the work because I knew the polka dots, but I just didn't know it was her and like her backstory. And then so like learning about it, I was like, lines up, makes a lot of sense. Okay. But then there was a musician in particular who kind of changed my mode of art. His name is DPR Ian, and like he uses story building in his music to also talk about his mental health. And he is someone with bipolar disorder as well. And so he's like created characters that fit different phases of his swings back and forth. And then he's like very much a process of all of the creative things. So he's a writer, he produces, he has his own production company, and then he does all of the music videos as well, and then acts in them and then edits them. So like literally almost everything he has a big hand in. And you can very much tell. So like his storytelling is very much like bright and erratic, but then he has a character named Mido, who's like his depressive episodes. And like all of his is very jazz feeling, like even the sound of that character, black and white and red. And then there's like Mr. Insane, who is a lot more bright and like poppy and has like more synthy sounds and like more like punk draft sort of like influence. And with like him talking about his art, I was like, oh, like that's a really interesting way to do this like storytelling, is like creating personal lore behind like the art that you're making so that you're able to storytell in like a multidimensional way, which I really liked. And I had found in my own work that whenever I'm talking about something that is personal to me, other people tend to see themselves in it more easily as well. So it connects better. And so then I started thinking about, okay, how can I like apply what he's doing and that inspiration behind like what I want to do? Because I was trying to figure out what my style was and like what I wanted to say. And like mental health has always been something that has like shaped everything in my life. And so I was like, well, might as well just like make that a part of my character. And like, instead of like shying away and trying to hide that part of myself, like very much put it on display to try to like help others and then like find a better way for me to like cope and manage my own mental health. And so like with my personal lore, I have made like dreamscapes that like the colors are the context of the emotion, as well as some of the patterns. There are like repeating things that I do throughout all of them. Like I have a black and white dotted line throughout everything. That the dots might look a little different, but like that is throughout everything, very much a signature. But then like the color very much is the context. So like a lot of people will tell me that like, oh, your artwork's so happy. And then like they'll see something that's like unsettling maybe because like the colors might give an illusion of happiness, but like there's a disconnect in like maybe the background or whatever cloud portion I'm doing, since I put clouds and everything. And it might be a stormy one, and then like everything else is like bright in color, and I'm like, okay, well, why is this disjointed? So then it opens up the conversation to be like, oh, well, like this is actually phantasmal, and like that's my manic episodes, and like that's why it's all bright and poppy and feels very fun and like happy, because it is. And then there's grim, which tends to be dark with like weird disconnects with color all over the place. So it's kind of like a back and forth. So like there's the tension in there, and which makes sense for like a depressive episode. And then there's like decay and rapture, which are like in between states of like going up and down between the two. And like all of, at least I like to think, all of the color and like motion helps like communicate to others where that is, but like does it in like a beautiful way where you can kind of put yourself there and like create a story without any of the context within it as well. So it can like facilitate thought or conversation in a different way, which I really like.
Do you do a write-up kind of like explaining all of that for each piece, or is it more so it's all together as a body of work under like one umbrella? Because I know on your website you have a long write-up explaining that, kind of the storytelling of it all. Is it all together, or is it?
So for right now, it's more or less together, but it, I'm sure, will expand, because I've been doing like a black and white polka dot sort of echoey sort of style that is like part of Grimm, and it's like specific to that. Like it wouldn't show up anywhere else. And so like I'm sure over time there might be more of a separation and like more story behind it. But I've only really been exploring this for maybe a year and a half now. So like I would assume over time it'll change. And like things have already changed, because in like my cloud section, which the clouds are called interlude, because like that's the moment of like calm in between my episodes, like the moment where like you're able to come up for air for a minute sort of feeling. And so before it used to be just like a shape. So I like to do like circles or like lines with them. And now I'm starting to like border them and then put a pattern within that border to like create more of a separation. And like that's only happened in like the last like 3 months, but I really enjoy it. And I think it does like push more separation with what everything like on the playing field of it all. And then like the Grimm dot pieces, those are called Desolate of Grimm. Like that's only, I think, been like a month that I've been doing that. So like it has been changing. I have been playing around with the idea of like adding bubbles to some things. And I'm still trying to figure out like what the bubbles specifically mean. I think that they are gonna stand for like hope, like an ode to like younger versions of myself who have like continued to push forward to like allow my current self to like explore things. And then also I'm trying to figure out how to make like what's the word? Like a door? Not a door. Sort of shape, I guess, to like show that it is a different realm that like you come in and out of. So yeah, we're just kind of playing with it. So far it's one story, but eventually I feel like it will very much branch out.
Oh, well, I'm excited to see where it goes, because where it is right now, it's beautiful and also jarring, which is the point, you know, and just, yeah, I think it's what you're doing is so interesting, and especially knowing the storytelling layers of it, because the work speaks for itself, but then it's also nice to have the stories behind it. So do you think that you're going to ever go into, because right now you're primarily painting canvas, you've done some murals. Do you think installation and that kind of like surrealist installation walk into the space and it consumes you, is that something you're interested in at all, or not really?
I wouldn't not be interested in it. I've like thought about it, and it's also been a question I've been asked before of like installations as well as adding like 3D elements to things. And I'm playing around with the idea, but then it's also like practically like where on earth is that going to go whenever it's not like dedicated to a space? So like there's that. But I think that would be like a really cool idea to like make it a whole world that you're literally able to like walk into. I like the idea, but I don't know yet. But so maybe I would definitely would be like something I would like to explore at some point.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. But that also is like my bias because I did installation all throughout college. And so I'm always like, I want to, like, I would look at paintings and be like, I want to be in it.
Yeah.
I want to be in this painting and, exploring it from the inside out. So I just was curious if that was something that you had been thinking about or I feel like now, like, there's so many exhibitions that are like meow, not meow off, but like the same concept. And I don't know how those operate, like if they have money or grants or whatever that they cover the cost of the artist. I don't know how they work, but I know there's been so many popping up because a lot of the artists that I follow or that, have stayed with us, they're involved in different ones throughout Austin and elsewhere. And like, man, where was all this whenever I was in college? Like, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump into, I guess it's only been, this is the third day, I guess you got here Sunday. Have you found any inspiration out here yet? And I know you said you were resting, but
Which is a good thing too.
Yeah. I found inspiration in my sleep, in my dreams.
Sometimes.
But yeah, what, if any, inspiration have you found out here yet?
I think just like having the time to like sit in my thoughts and without distraction has been something that I feel like often pushes my art forward. So like having the time to do that and then like zero pressure with creating, like there's not like something that I have to create specifically for has been nice. So like I'm able to kind of just like creatively play with like some of the ideas that I have that I haven't been able to like flesh out entirely yet, which is really nice. So definitely taking advantage of that.
We like to keep it free and, for it to be what you need it to be. And I love when artists explore new ideas. And I always say, we're an incubator for creativity. And I love to see artists try new things. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Like we had an artist last session and she was trying something completely new. And she was like, yeah, so I learned this isn't going to work. Like I tried it.
Yeah.
It was an idea. It's something I've been wanting to do. And I'm not going to continue exploring this. And I thought it was really cool that like she tried it, and then there was the artist that painted that one next to Jake, Rick. He had never painted anything like that before, but he was inspired by one of the books in one of our houses, which is one that he had been wanting to read. And he usually doesn't paint loose that way. He paints really tight. And so everything about it was an experiment for him. And so it's nice to kind of see what happens with the artists who show up out here. So is there anything specific that you are working on right now, or?
I mean, just like the door idea, like there is a word I'm looking for, but I
Portal?
can't. There we, yes. Portal. Of like adding that in and like trying to make it not, like I want it to feel separate, but like still cohesive somehow. So like trying to figure out like, because I paint in layers, so like what layer to put it on to like do that, but then without it like taking too much space from like other things as well is just always like very much a trial and error sort of activity. But I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I like the sketch, which is helpful. So we'll see.
And is it a door, or it doesn't look like a door at all?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Doesn't look
it's
like a door.
something else. Okay. I figured it wasn't an actual door.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be cool to see what it is and how it fits in. Do you spray paint at all? So you spray and...
Yeah, so I use spray paint, acrylic pen, acrylic paint, and then glitter as well. Like there's a signature mark that I do that contains glitter in it. So like that has glitter. But like the black and white line is almost always a spray paint is the black part. And then I like dot tool the white on.
I've always been partial to glitter. I love
do like glitter.
I hear the word and I'm like, oh no, not glitter.
I hear the word and I say, yay!
She brings all the glitter, and at our wedding, so at weddings, whenever you're walking out of the church or wherever the reception, and you're passing through all your family and friends on the side, and they're throwing whatever flowers or rice or
birdseed
or glitter in our case. That was not a great idea.
We had buckets of glitter, and his sisters were just like chunking it on. His whole face, he was golden, and it just stuck to him. It was wonderful.
It was a hot summer, Texas summer day.
Yeah.
So
perfect
I was
to
like,
stay.
it's just it was just sticking to his skin.
He was gold. It was amazing.
Yeah, I have nightmares of glitter.
Have a flashback.
He didn't know what he was getting into. And even at our wedding in Botswana, I had my mom, because in Botswana, glitters, like everything's expensive. Not everything, but just imported stuff like that. Certain things are more expensive. So I had my mom bring a whole bunch of glitter when she flew over for our wedding. And the staff at the safari camp where we got married, they all put the glitter all over their face on purpose. And the men, the women, they all came into the reception of our wedding just covered in glitter. And I was like, this is the best day ever.
That is a magical moment.
Yeah. It's funny how like artists have like a particular thing that they're attracted, like you is glitter.
Yeah, but I never worked with glitter though as a medium, but I love it. I love when other people
can be fickle. Like it's hard to use it because I've like played around with like how glitter has showed up and stuff, but it's hard to like utilize it where it doesn't feel like tacky or like it's taking away from whatever I'm doing. Because like it can very much get to that, but also I love it and I want it in there still. So
same. That was always a struggle in school of things that I wanted things to be cute or pretty or whatever. And those aren't good words in art school, and glitter is not a good word in art school. And so that's why I'm always like, do it. Because they always say the rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah, at the very least questioned.
So yeah, I am all here for the glitter. So while you're here, you have a couple more days left. What are you hoping to get out of your stay, your residency?
Some more sleep. I also hope to make some connections with some of the other artists because a couple of them are in Austin. So hopefully have some friends and people to go back to add to and like bounce ideas off of. Like having other creative friends like that is definitely a saving grace. Having like people to be like, hey, I made this. What does this make you feel? Or like, does it make sense to you? Or like, I'm coming up with like this issue and this project suggestions. It's helpful. So like I'm hoping to grow that network.
Yeah. Kayla's in Austin.
Carmen's in Austin.
Is in Austin. And I know, Carmen's very involved with the mural community and then also her mosaic community that she's built. And it sounds like there's probably some common threads between you and Kayla because she knows Rich.
Yeah,
yes?
Rich.
Okay. And so that hopefully y'all can connect. And I'm going to shout out Natalie again, but there's a beautiful community in Austin called NetDo. And they are a community of creatives and artists and business people, entrepreneurs. I mean, it's such a broad mix. But from my experience with them, they all have just been so genuine and passionate and not pretentious. Because sometimes in communities, you can get a little fake, you can get a little pretentious, and they're not. They're just beautiful people. And I think that's due to Natalie, the kind of leader of it all. Natalie Poindexter is her name. And
what's up, Natalie?
Hi, Natalie. And they have creative nights, I think at Soho House and all over also. They do different stuff in different places, but that's a great community to get plugged into if you're looking for some genuine connections. And because everyone I've met in her community are just great people. So
I'll definitely have to look into her.
Yeah. I always shout her out, but it really is a beautiful community that I believe in.
She's an awesome person.
Yeah. So, I hope you're able to connect. And I think, is Jonas in Austin?
No, Houston.
He's in Houston, right?
Yeah, because Stephanie's in Houston.
Yeah. Henry And Heather and Jonas are in Houston.
And Stephanie.
Yeah. So we just have Houston and Austin.
Half Austin.
Right? That's it. Wow. Last session we had some Houston, Austin. We have kind of a mix, but this was like Houston and Austin.
Yeah, only
representing.
Well, I'm hoping that the area clears up for y'all while y'all are here. Because have y'all ever been out to this area before?
Mm-mm.
No. Brian, you? No? He shook his head no. Well, I think if it does clear up, you got to venture out and see all the beautiful hills and see scenery. It's so rural and out here. So it's just great to be out in nature. And then get some hikes in and kind of unplug from being in the city. And yeah, it's good for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it'll be better weather. Well, it does look like we're forecasted to get some rain. Which it's bittersweet.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good
We're
thing
still
for
going
us.
to Garner. We're going to stop there on the way back either way. So
Oh, good. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
and even when it is foggy and misty, it's still pretty. It just gives it a moodiness that's just different from the bright skies, but it does interfere with the visibility of the hills and the canyons. But I always say I'm biased, but I think this is the most beautiful area in Texas. And so many people don't know it exists. They don't know that it's here. And
yeah, I didn't really, honestly, past like San Antonio. I don't know what's happening, but like over here, we were like looking on the Instagram and I was like, oh, wow, like it's really, really pretty over here. And so we made sure to bring stuff so we could like wander around a little bit because we definitely enjoy getting to stomp around in the dirt.
But what is next for you? I know you have these shows. Is there anything in the pipeline or that you're looking into?
Yeah. So I have, I think 2 or 3 other ones that are down the pipeline. I'm doing something with the Cathedral for women's history of color. I'm not sure where theirs is yet, but it's sometime this month, I believe, as well. I think it's like the 16th or something. And then there's one more that is just like pending on like figuring out if I can actually make it fit to my schedule or not. And then I'm also doing a side quest to get my nail tech license soon too. So we'll see.
Wow. You stay busy.
Yeah.
Are you having to create new work for all of these? Or are you able to reuse some of the work?
I only have like 3 things I think at home currently. So I will have to remake. But then because I did make so much stuff at the beginning of the year, once those shows are done, then I will have those things to be able to kind of like cycle other places as well. So like they get to be seen by as many people as possible. So, but I do create almost compulsively. Like I'm almost always making something as well.
Is this what you do full time or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And the website, you said she had a website, right?
Yes.
Yeah. DivineDisasters.com.
Yeah. And we'll put that in the show notes and we can put your how to contact you and if anyone wants to see your work or buy your work and all that, we'll put that in the show notes. But thank you so much for chatting with us today and
Thanks
being
for having me
here. And like I said, I love your work so much and I'm just so grateful that you're here and I can't just wait to see what you make. And
me too, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But
yeah, thank you for, of course, taking the time to do this and for sharing and being open with your experiences as far as your journey to becoming an artist. And we wish you the best of luck. And hopefully we can have y'all back again and better
we'd love
weather.
that.
So, yeah. Thank you. And thank you, Brian, for supporting her. And thank y'all for watching. And hopefully y'all can give us a thumbs up or rate us if you're listening. Give us a 5-star review. We would appreciate it. Hasta luego. Catch you on the next one.
bye.